feels like it's almost a year, but it's only been 8 months. Can you believe that?
Yeah, you've
I
tortured me for 8 months. I'm kidding.
Oh
You
my
keep making me
god.
wake up on Saturday mornings. Oh my god.
I love the Saturday morning vibes though, don't you? I mean, it's just like when people are just waking up, it's been a long week. They're looking forward to having something fun and something to tune into. So, happy Saturday. Yay! Sia is not feeling it yet. You need to sip more of that coffee, ma'am. Oh my gosh, this is funny.
I
But
was I was actually trying to discreetly type something, and then I was like, and then of course she calls me out, like, okay, good job. But yes, it is coffee, and it's only coffee today so far ish.
mhm,
I went to the
mhm.
Boy George and Howard Jones in Berlin concert on Thursday. So yesterday I was a little slow. Like even my voice is still a little rough around the edges.
Were
It was
you
a good
yelling a
time.
lot or just singing along?
I was singing along, but
Ah,
I was singing along to Howard Jones. Just gonna throw it out there. Culture Club, I
mhm.
love you, but seriously, stop with this. Like, I'm still relevant. They're trying to play like dance music and stuff, and I'm like, did you not see the audience? We're all like, everyone's like 60 years old. No one wants to
Oh
go
my
club hopping right
gosh.
now. Like, it was not. It was kind of annoying me, but they did sound good. The music sounded good. So there you go.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm glad that you're coming back to normal. Semi, you have the weekend to kind of
I
recover
know.
though.
I
So
know.
but anyhow, guys, happy Saturday. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I always like to give a lot of shout outs. And so today I definitely want to do that, since last weekend I wasn't able to do that because we had such a packed show. My God, it was an amazing show with the ladies last weekend. Um, it, I mean,
Got a lot of feedback, a lot of great feedback.
ooh,
Like, ooh, yeah.
I'm ecstatic about it. And hello, Leslie. Hi, the queen of conflict resolution. I love you. Thank you so much, Stephen Eng, mi amigo de corazón, mi hermano. Thank you so much for tuning in. And for all my people who speak Spanish, saludos, buenos días, feliz sábado a todos. Johanna,
We miss
my
you,
God,
girl.
where
We haven't
you
seen
been?
you in a while.
We miss you so much.
Wait,
Yeah,
she might be married.
I
Are you
don't
married
know.
yet, girl?
I don't know. So
Have you taken the plunge?
I
Sorry.
know you've been a little MIA because you got things going on, and wish you the best in that. But yeah, let's catch up soon. Oh my gosh, it's been crazy. Mr. Randy. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Countdown.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Countdown. So let the public know what's going
Do we really
on.
wanna make that public? Okay, long
Um,
story short is, uh, we're all gonna have a big slumber party. We're all meeting up in San Antonio in September, and it's gonna be the first time all of us meeting in person. So this is either gonna be, like, amazing, or it's gonna be literally, real world MTV first season where everyone's looking at each other like, "What the hell are we all doing here?" So, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Hopefully, it'll be amazing, and,
I
golly gee
think it
willikers.
will. I'm super excited, going into it because it's international. It's not just here in the US. Like we're getting people from other parts of the world. And that's what alluded to me. I was just like, man, this is going to be great. This is going to be fantastic. And of course, Mr. Dennis, thank you so much for tuning in. One of our pretty much newer hounds. My gosh, you're amazing. Like I love your content. And of course, we only have amazingness going on in there in hounds.
In
Mr.
the hounds, of course, Mike. We mentioned the hounds, and sure enough, hi guys. It's
Summons.
it's like that genie. Like you like rub the lamp, and all of a sudden Mike shows up. You mentioned the hounds, and suddenly Mike is right there.
Yeah. Of course, our fearless leader of the hounds, the founder, an amazing just brother, friend that anybody could have, man. I will never cease to speak about how amazing this group is. And you guys make each and every day fantastic on this platform. So greetings, everyone. Lydia, hi. Let us know where you guys are tuning in. There it goes. Good evening from Nigeria, my friend. Thank you so much for tuning in. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get this party started. How about we roll the intro before we forget, since we
I,
always do.
you know what? You would think I would know this after 8 months. I'm like, oh wait, hey, should do the intro?
Yeah. So, right after that, we're going to get right into it because, we got fantastic stuff, to talk about. So,
Super
how about
hype.
let's do it?
All right.
Let's go. Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner. Dance and dance and dance and okay, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah, Johnny in the background there, you gotta dance, buddy. You gotta dance. Oh my
You
god!
wait, we got him dancing backstage, but then you tell me I gotta stop? What, you don't like my dancing?
Oh, I know everybody's gonna be vibing. I love
I
it. I love it.
I could
I
Vogue,
it
Vogue.
Vogue, is that what it is? Oh gosh. Tell us your best moves or what moves you like us to do, and we'll try to do it.
Oh, you gotta do the sprinkler,
The
maybe
sprinkler.
the lawnmower.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Chime in the comments, guys, and see if we can
Okay.
actually do it right.
But you know what's funny is that, like, all the moves I'm talking about, I'm like, "Oh, I done dated myself." They're like, yeah, why don't you just add in the Running Man and tripod in the mix and, like, oh, we know what era you're from."
Oh, well, you see, some of these things I don't know again because I'm not from this country and I miss so much of the pop culture referencing. So, yeah, but I do know the Running Man. I do know that one, and then the robot, and then the moon, the moonwalk, of course.
Of course, of course. So, oh my gosh, can I just say I saw this Ethel or Ethel? So
Ooh,
Dr. Ethel, Master of
okay.
Education and DM. So, of all the places in the world I wanna visit and have not had the opportunity yet is Ireland. Well, we shall be talking a little bit about that, so we can do a
Yes.
virtual
Y-
trip
uh,
to Ireland.
Yes, yes, and so you're not alone, Dr. Lord. Oh my gosh, that
Is
sounds
it
so good.
Doctor or Master of Education, or is it
Is it doctor?
MED? Oh my god, we are so clearly wait, you have an MBA, don't they tell you all those
I
letters as to what
have
it
an
all means?
MPH, a master's in public health. Oh my
Oh.
gosh. Maybe it's a master's in education. Who knows? We'll
Oh,
see.
education.
ED,
Yeah, didn't I say that? Oh my gosh,
Dr. Constance Leland, can you please correct us in the comments since you have like 7,000 degrees yourself?
I
Yeah,
know. Oh
she'll
my
know.
goodness gracious. Ashif, hello, sir. Good to see you.
Good to
Oh my
see
goodness.
you.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep scrolling through because I know, as always, I'm always like 10 minutes behind everyone's comments and all that. So I will try to keep going.
Yeah.
But
So, yeah.
talk to me, Goose. How was your week, by the way?
Okay. Oh my gosh. So I have like three cats staring in front, like at front at me. So I'm just like, can you guys behave? Do not touch any cords, nothing. So if it gets unplugged, y'all know it was a cat. So my week was very interesting. I'm getting ready to have the girls go back to school. So, it's one of those things that you're last minute shopping for school supplies, uniforms, prepping. And so it's been interesting. It's like slash stressful, so I feel for all the parents out there who are literally like doing the same thing, just kind of like getting ready. It's not easy. It's not easy. And of course, my daughter just wakes up now, and she's like, "Mommy, I'm here." uh,
That's like
but
you should just have her sit and join you, man. Like literally.
no, she fights me for my phone. That's what she came and got. She's like, "Okay, give me a phone." I go off. But sometimes she's like, she just goes off and comes back and wants mommy time. And I'm like, okay, all right. That's my 4-year-old, y'all. So it's not like my 9-year-old who can understand. She will not, she'll defy.
Your
So
4-year-old has she has the eating habits of a college student. We were talking when we were working one day, and all of a sudden she walks up and you're looking over and I just see this face. All I see, you guys, is we're talking, all of a sudden Raquel just goes, "What, do you want to microwave that? Do you want to heat that up?" And I'm sitting there going, "What is she looking at?" Her daughter was eating cold McDonald's fries.
i-
That
yes,
is so gross.
and cold pizza.
Like,
Don't,
cold pizza's
I I'm
okay. I'm
I'm
okay with cold
telling
pizza.
you, I'm telling you, cold pizza, cold everything. I'm just like, sweetie pie, do you not want to heat that up? And no, no, she don't want to. So I was like, I'm gonna leave her alone. That's what Sia says, leave her alone. If that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do. But yeah, that's awesome, awesome. But Sia, so that's basically what's been going on, prepping for school. And I know you have a lot of things working in the back end there with projects. Can you
Yeah.
enlighten us?
I mean, there's a lot in progress. I don't want to say anything just quite yet, except for the fact that that does feed us actually into our sponsors. So why don't we go ahead and chat to McChatterson about our sponsors real quick?
Absolutely,
Not real quick.
absolutely.
We will take a lot of time to say thank you to our sponsors
No, of course,
because
because
I'm one
we
of
love
them.
you. Yes, yes,
I
yes.
might be slightly selfish,
Yes.
what else?
So we know our fantastic and always just amazing Towsy brands with Janice Chakyan. As you guys can see, we have her right here. An amazing, amazing, it's an amazing pillowcase. I know you guys have heard us talk about it, but we never get tired of doing it because it is an amazing product. Okay. I know CS showing it there. You got a different color this time, boo.
I know, because my mom
Ooh.
stole my other one.
Uh,
So my mom was in the hospital and I brought her a Towsy pillowcase. What it is basically, it's an integrated pillowcase that gives you some great neck support and or lumbar region support. So, and then there's an additional little slide out pillow here that you could use to give additional support or let your head rest in that gap space. So it's really kind of cool. So you guys highly check it out. I'm a big advocate. It is not just for, senior care. It's for everyone. If you're in the plane traveling or if you're like sitting on the beach, because, in Texas here, 105 degrees, it's so reasonable to sit outside in your backyard right now. But yeah, if you got a lawn chair and decent temperatures, the Towsy is amazing.
yeah, 105. Yeah, no, girl. Try 115 yesterday. I was
It's
dying.
bad.
It's like you walk outside and you just get hit by this wave of like blah.
Heat. Yeah, I haven't gone outside. Like literally, I have not stepped outside except for oh yeah, no, I was at the concert outside. That was not one of our smarter moves, but we stayed hydrated. There's a lot of vodkas. There's water in that, right?
It's quite powerful hydration. But no, yesterday was windy. That was the worst. I mean, it's just like just think about being in this vortex of hot air.
So
I was
so you're
just
in an
like,
air fryer then.
I
You're
was
air
like, "What?"
frying it.
I was like, "I don't wanna go outside." I was crying. But anyhow, so yes, that's what no, you don't wanna have Towsy in this heat, weather outside. Please, no. Keep it indoors, just relax. Anyhow, our next one as always is, we mentioned him earlier in the show, Mr. Mike Asherbanner. I almost said afterburner. Shout out to you, Mark Reed.
Mark Reed, Zen Sandwich.
I don't know why it's hilarious the way he says it though, which is a straight face. But Asher Branner, we love you. Thank you so much for all the support and just the nurturing community that you've given us in order to, grow professionally, grow personally, and just all ships rise with the tide, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So if you don't know who Mike Asherbrenner is, gosh, where have you been? What rock have you been? I know I live under rock sometimes, but you guys should know better. He is the leader of the Hounds business community, and he has his show every Wednesday at 7 Eastern time PM. Okay, so just check him out, and he always has amazing individuals who are doing amazing things in the world. So very interesting. And who's
yes.
next?
Well, I don't know, something about Brilliant Bean Media. So this is my company, you guys, and we do sponsor, like legit sponsor for this. So yeah, all we are is a digital marketing agency, consulting agency, and what we do is make your light shine brighter. So if it's anything around social media, digital content creation, ideation, as far as trying to figure out how that works for your brand, and or we actually augment marketing agencies who do not want to deal with the social media and digital content creation. So a lot of business to business, business to consumer um, relationships. So there you go.
Amazing. Okay, and then our last one is a very new one, but nevertheless, my gosh, amazing, amazing things that they're doing because they're keeping us safe and sound. And what do I mean by that? It is a new TV series that is going to come out. It's a show that is going to be directly, specifically for featuring products to make any care partner's lives easier whether you're taking care of somebody who has some sort of a physical disability, intellectual disability, or are elderly. With the boomer population turning 65, I mean, come on, like the health system is not it's not ready for all of that all those waves to come. But there are things out there that you need to become informed that will make your life easier as a caregiver, as a care a partner, right? And so they will be featuring all the highlights of all these different products that will make your life easier, ranging from, things to how to help an individual put a sock on and to like make better like back, like for your back to protect your back when lifting, etc. I mean, I cannot wait to share with the world what these ladies from Safe and Sound have. I mean, Cindy and Christina, shout out to you. They're huge on YouTube. They're huge on TikTok. They've amassed so many followers because their shows there is they're amazing. I mean, wouldn't you say that, Sia?
Yeah, I think of Safe as think of Safe and Sound as a one-stop shop in essence, and we can say trademark. It's like QVC, but for healthcare and caregiving specifically. So everyone, no one's escaping this planet. So we're all going to go down this path and journey. So what Safe and Sound, and by the way, it is on the caregiving worldwide network. And founder, shout out Tracy Lamb, who's also a fellow hound. This amazing new network is all things about caregiving, healthcare, mental, physical wellness, and it's literally going to be a great look site for you guys to pull up content again from a TV media perspective. So, and again, Brilliant Bee Media is definitely an integral part of that. So, shout out to Safe and Sound, and of course, Cindy Christina over at Adaptive Equipment Corner. That's their YouTube channel, and we can. They were actually a guest previously, so
Yes.
check them out, you guys. Previous episodes.
Amazing, amazing stuff. My
So
gosh. Well,
thank you, sponsors.
yes.
Deuces.
Thank you so much. Without you guys, we would not be here doing this amazing and fantastic things with just highlighting individuals from all over the world. And I mean international. So I mean, in saying about international, like I've had this country in my bucket list of travels. It's like number 9 or so, but it's in my bucket list. Okay, but it's so interesting that I don't know much about it, but that's why we have a
Dun,
special
dun,
the
dun,
expert
dun.
who is here to tell us a little bit more about Ireland, the Emerald Isle. So, without further ado, please welcome our guest of the day, Mr. Johnny B. Beirne.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I love it. I love the presentation. So as you can see, he is the webinar wizard and he'll have all the tricks of the trade and he'll show you everything. So Johnny, welcome to this show and thank you so much for being here on a Saturday afternoon for you.
It is my pleasure, and thank you very much. It's an honor.
Oh my gosh. So let me tell you, tell the audience in a little bit about yourself, but before we dive into it, you are a fellow hound. You're like I don't think he's the furthest one, but you are the first Irish hound that we have.
That is a true statement.
Yes, that is a true
Yeah.
statement.
I'm an Irish wolfhound.
Oh,
Ah,
there we go.
I
Wait.
no,
I turned it down. Man, me and my soundboard skills.
there we go. No, and so you are the first one in my show also who's Irish. So welcome, your inaugural Irish, and I love it. So tell us a little bit about you, which part of Ireland you're in, and what you do.
Sure. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm in the northwest of Ireland, over on the northwest coast. Yeah, I've an office here. I basically help people create courses and improve their webinars. I've been creating courses for over a decade and love doing that. I'm into my tech, into my presentations, into yoga, into mindfulness, into networking. Yeah, so that's me. Grew up in a little village, a coal mining village. My dad was a coal miner for 30 years. He passed back in 2000 at the age of 55. So that made me very present to the importance of time and what he did with his time in exchange for money. So I just love to help people to stop exchanging time for money. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Oh my goodness. Well, that is a whole lot. And I know you and I, so just to tell the audience, we met during a mastermind class and by Tanya Eberhardt in Brand Face. And let me tell you, you struck me as such a vivacious individual from the get-go. It's just interesting human being. But not only that, it's just your heart, the way you really want to give out, as much as you can and help individuals. I mean, when I was having issues with some tech issues, he was like, I'll help you with that. And I'm like, okay, yay, my savior, right? But I love that you impart that feeling into what you actually do as well on a daily basis. So tell us a little bit about how did you get into the expertise you're into the industry?
Sure. Yeah. So I was training in social media for years and basically started to become quite present to the fact that it's very hard to scale when you're exchanging time for money. So I was basically giving the same courses to small business owners around the country and indeed abroad. And it was getting a bit repetitive, and I was starting to forget, was this the group I was talking to yesterday, or did I share this already with that other group? Or so I went to a conference in London with a good friend of mine, and all the speakers that weekend had digital products, online courses, info products, etc., etc. And I thought, yeah, this could be the life for me. So I came back to Ireland, and I spent the next, I guess, almost 2 years researching everything that was involved in creating, marketing, and selling online courses. And got so passionate about that topic that I dropped teaching social media and started to train people online about how to train people online. So that's what I do now. And then the whole presentation transformation that we're going to talk about and engaging webinars was really accelerated as a result of COVID. So I started to share tips on being more engaging online because everybody was using Zoom and there was Zoom fatigue from viewers, and set up a little studio to help me make my courses faster. And yeah, the demand just grew during COVID for helping people to set up a simple, effective, professional home or office studio on a small space, on a small budget, and go from looking like somebody in a witness protection program to somebody that really does themselves justice when they turn up on screen. And I'm busier actually helping people with their professional presentations now than I am helping people create courses. But they're the same
Oh my
people, so it's good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad that you brought that point. So you would say that prior to the pandemic, I know I wasn't that well versed in Zoom, even though I do consider myself techie advanced, like inclined. But the idea of, like you said, not looking like as if you're in a witness protection program, individuals really don't think about that. They don't think about the song quality, the video quality, and how those elements do matter when it comes to actually presenting yourself for business or for, just for meetings in general. And I started learning that during the pandemic, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, my laptop's camera is like outdated. Like, I need to upgrade. I need to do this and that. So I do see that the once the pandemic hit, the necessity for that was evident. How has it transitioned during these last 3 years of since the pandemic? Has the same demand?
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose the point I make to people is, you wouldn't turn up the way you do online. You wouldn't do it offline. I mean, you wouldn't bring people to a messy office. You wouldn't bring them into a room that's badly lit if you were meeting them in an office environment or a training environment. So it's like, if you don't think it's okay offline, why do you think it's okay online? Now, I know a lot of people were thrown into it. So it's like, I've never been on Zoom before. I don't have the gear. So people were a little bit forgiving in terms of the viewers for the first couple of weeks of the pandemic. But very quickly, people started to see what great looks like because the pioneers kind of moved forward very quickly, or they probably were doing it even before COVID. So viewers started to see what good should look like, and what great should look like, and what it should sound like. So, and it hasn't gone back. More and more people are looking more professional online. I'm hoping I have a little bit to do with it with the people I work with, but they very quickly started to realize it's just not good enough. You can't turn up, looking down and not making eye contact and fumbling around with sharing slides and all that kind of stuff. So it's as busy as ever. And what's great about it is that once you set it up, you can make online courses a lot quicker. You can make promo videos a lot quicker. You can show up in live streams a lot better. And it's actually more enjoyable because it's like putting on your favorite kind of power outfit, your power suit. The one that people say, God, you really look good today. And you're like, well, thank you. So it kind of helps your confidence, which kind of feeds back down the lens into your audience. And they get a more professional, enjoyable, engaging event, which feed back to you, and the loop continues. So there's so many reasons why people should embrace it for sure.
Yeah. And now I know you mentioned about, what they have, or some people are like, okay, well, I don't have a really good camera. I don't have a good microphone. I don't have a good setup. Do you, I know Sia preaches this and she's like, you start with what you have, right? And we'll make it work. Because the idea is you put in the creativity and the tips and the tricks that you'll teach them during your webinar course. It will elevate their appearance and their appeal and how they come across to potential entities, business speaking. But do you consider that anybody with what they have can actually step up their game?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, lighting, whatever lights you have, if you have to go upstairs or down to the bedroom and bring down the bedside lamp and put it on your desk, whatever it takes to improve the lighting, if you believe the lighting isn't good enough, and typically it's not. And then the sound, if you're relying on your built-in microphone in your laptop, typically it's not good enough. But you can pick up a decent mic now for $100, and you can
Okay.
pick up a decent camera for 100 or 200. And when you consider potentially what you may be losing, particularly when you're delivering a webinar. So if you're relying on webinars for your sales, let's say you're selling a course, a program, coaching, high ticket mastermind, whatever it might be, it's said that up to 61% of people don't stay to the end of the webinar. That means that 61% of people don't even see your offer. So
Gotcha.
if you send out 100 email, or if 100 people register for a webinar, about 30 show up on average. So for some people, it's more, right? So if 30% only show up and then 60% of those don't stay to the end, that 100 goes to like 10 people who see your offer. So if people say, oh, I can't afford it, and it's cliche, but I say, can you afford not to do it? Because if you're selling like a $5,000 program or $100 course, whatever it might be, and half the people don't even see the opportunity to buy it, then you're losing money big time. So even if you have to borrow to improve, because what you really need to do in your webinars these days is avoid death by PowerPoint. And death by PowerPoint existed before COVID.
Mm.
So we've got death by PowerPoint combined with Zoom fatigue. So you really gotta be more engaging. And like I have a lot of fun with the tips and tricks. I do like helping people address the elephant in the room. Come on in, Mr. or Mrs. Elephant. They
Oh, wait a
identify as
second.
an
Hold up.
elephant.
Oh,
Hold up. Wait.
yeah.
Bring your elephant back.
Oh,
I
oh
was in a
yeah,
different
because we've
setting. There we
got
go.
There.
yeah, because we've got lots of elephants in Ireland, of course. So yeah, so it's these kind of things, and then being able to like seamlessly transition into your slides, appear somewhere else on the screen without even breaking eye contact. So an awful lot of people, or too many people in their webinars, it's like, hold on now till I share my slides, and can you see my screen? And there's a lot of fumbling, which makes you look unprepared and unprofessional. So if
Yep.
you can seamlessly transition into your slides, continue to present, go to slides only, appear somewhere else, go back to full screen to check in with your audience are like, more engaged. Like, this is different. This is very slick and smooth and professional. And it's quite enjoyable for the presenter as well because it's effortless. You're not fumbling with the mouse, as I said. So all of that adds to the engagement, which means people are more likely to stay to the end. I've had people buy my program because I made them laugh so much. I'm like, don't buy it just because I made you laugh. Please buy it because of what the course will teach you how to do. But anyway, the point being that
But
you
mhm.
can have a little bit of fun with it quite easily. I mean, you can make money fall from the sky if you wish. If the you can like make other people appear beside you and stuff like that. Like, I was joking earlier about being Irish. I did this one just for river dance and stuff like that. So yeah, you can have lots of fun with it as well. It's really just about being different and standing out from the competition and avoiding death by PowerPoint and avoiding Zoom fatigue and avoiding people being distracted by their phones, keeping them engaged so that stay to the end so they see your wonderful offer, particularly on your webinar.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you, audience, I hope you didn't miss that because it was highly entertaining. And this is just a snippet of what Mr. Johnny can deliver. Because I'm telling you, I've seen his work, him working, and I'm like, whoa, like I am so wow. That's why I was like, he has to come, to the show so that he can show what he can do, at least. So yeah, I know that, I mentioned that asking that question to Johnny about you start with what you have and you continue to build up. I know you and I have talked about that. And so share the audience what you think about it.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm a huge advocate of don't spend money if you don't know if you're going to be into something. It's kind of like saying, "Hey, I'm going to learn how to play the guitar and I'm going to pick up a $30,000 guitar and you don't know how to play," right? Like don't be a gadget head like that, right? So, work with what you've got. Be cognizant of the fact that you don't have a multi-million dollar setup and equipment and then gradually grow into it. Make sure this is what you know like and are you're competent to handle the equipment, right? I mean, how many times do you see people who are like, "Oh, I want to buy a Lamborghini," but don't know and understand that their controls aren't like a normal car, right? Like you've got to actually have to touch dials and buttons and whatnot. So, yeah, make with what you got, but be cognizant of the fact that, yeah, as Johnny said, the odds are high. The lighting isn't going to be perfect, but it's certainly better than nothing. Nothing irks me more than to see a wonderful presentation, but I'm distracted because audio quality sucks or I just can't see you, right? So just be cognizant of that. And for those that are looking to be professional speakers and I want to be on a podcast or I want to get on your live stream, I'm not going to lie to you. As a producer, if I know you don't have the proper equipment, I am going to be less inclined to bring you on because it's a pain in the wazoo to try to make you look good, sound good, and give the production overall quality, the the good quality of listening and entertainment value and experience for the people that are listening and watching. So that's my 2 cents is if you're gonna want to be a speaker, please make the investment. My microphone here is now discontinued. It's old. It's maybe $50 now. You and my the webcam, get a basic webcam, you guys, and you can get a decent setup like this for under $200 easily. So,
Hmm.
if you have questions like on that, people like Johnny, people like me, we will help you. Don't feel like you got to go on your own. And there are technical subtleties and differences. If you want to be on a DSLR and use a camera, fine. But understand, it's not plug and play. There's going to be additional equipment. You want to be able to
Hmm.
switch the way that Johnny's platform here? Good. Learn multitasking skills or hire someone to do the back end for you, right? So there's options. That's all I'm saying. But please,
Yeah, yeah,
please, 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 for the love of God, do not use your freaking laptop. It's kind
Yeah.
of like
Oops.
this. And Johnny can
Hmm.
jump in. Your laptop was designed to do like, hey, I'm present. It was pre-COVID world. The pandemic has taught us anything. If we're going to have a telecommute life or a remote relationship life, put your best foot forward. And this is coming from
Hmm.
someone that's hella basic where I just wear concert t-shirts all the time. You could step up your game a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, but you really do justice to those concert t-shirts, girl, because that's your style, that's your brand, like that's you. If you showed up in a suit, I was like, who the heck is this? I just it wouldn't be you, and your branding is that pretty much. But they were talking about how do we connect, Johnny. So
Oh, sorry.
please, no, you're fine. Please let us know how exactly we can find you. And I know we have a fantastic QR code somewhere over here with your beautiful picture. There you go, like
Oh my God,
twins.
twinsies. It's almost as if that was on brand.
Right? Almost, almost. And tell us a little bit behind the branding, because I thought it was amazing when we were going through it. It was just like, man, he's a smart man.
yeah. So the website's johnnybeirne.com. It looks like Bernie, the way my name is spelled, but it is Beirne as in sunburn or whatever burn reference you want to use. And if you go over to the website, you get a free guide called Presentation Transformation, just to take you through some of the tips and tricks. In terms of the gear, yeah, I mean, it's basically a little switch, like a Stream Deck, $150, and everything's pre-programmed with some inexpensive software, just to give you an insight into how much how easier it actually is than you might think. Okay, because people say, you know, it kind of looks complicated the way, you know, things are going on. A little bit of practice, a small budget, and you can get going. Um, yeah. So in terms of the brand, it's a relatively new logo. It's just, I suppose, because when I was presenting a lot, one of the positions I use is like I just go down into the bottom right hand corner and continue to present. So that's where the logo came from. Where the logo is green for a green screen and a little bit of Irish, and then my little head and a silhouette in the corner. It's just me being in the corner of the green screen. And then I got the shirts done, and then when they arrived, I'm like, you can't wear green when you're using a green
Green
screen because
screen.
the logo will go white to the color of the
Yeah.
background. So there's a little green circle on the image there to make this green. But you can have some fun with it as well. The kids say your shirt is running out of charge, and I'm like, oh, it's fully charged again.
I
So anyway,
love that.
I
I
just
love that.
noticed that. Oh, just show that again, Johnny, because it's so freaking genius. Like, so y'all see the little logo, right? Oh my god, that's the type of stuff and creativity that you guys will get. So Michelle here has a question, and I think we all have this question as well. Do your students need to be techie, or how advanced, I should say?
yeah, I suppose the first thing I would say, and it's not just to do with technology, it's to do with taking on anything new. Please don't talk yourself out of it before you start. Okay. So some people come to me and say, Johnny, I'd love to be able to do what you do, but I don't even know how to turn on a computer. And ironically, we're having this conversation on Zoom. So I'm like, you really don't know how to turn on a computer, or you're just a little exaggerating a little bit. Oh, well, I know how to turn on a computer. So I'm like, well, here's a little bit of coaching. If I would say to them, here's a little bit of coaching if it's okay. Please do not talk yourself out of it before you even start. Okay. Now, granted, if you have an absolute fear of computers, then you're probably going to need a little bit of hands on assistance from somebody who can sit beside you. However, most people, you know, they're using Zoom, they're hosting a webinar, they've got a laptop. So they're already more techie than they think they are.
Mhm.
And if they're willing to learn and
Mhm.
they really want to be able to do it, they will overcome that fear and I will walk them through it. I have helped people remotely in Arizona, in South Africa, in different places around the world who genuinely have a fear. They do the necessary email, Zoom meetings, etc. They do the necessary, but you'd be pleasantly surprised, as were they, when they stuck with it and we went through it piece by piece. We recorded the meetings, they could watch them back. I took control of their computer with TeamViewer if I needed to or whatever. And we have helped people who literally thought they'd never, ever be able to do it. They're almost, in some cases, as good as what I do. They just ran with it. They were just enjoying it so much. So yeah, you don't have to be you're techie. You're more techie than you think you are. I mean, even on here and being able to ask that question needs to be somewhat techie, right? So you
Yes.
don't need to be too techie. And people say, "Oh, it's easy for you to say, Johnny, you're a nerd." I am a nerd, and I've learned this myself over the years. But because I learned it myself and figured it out the hard way, I have empathy for people who are afraid of it. But as I say, it's a little switch pre-programmed with some inexpensive software and the right guidance. Yes, a few extra lights. Yes, a good microphone and camera. You'll probably need those anyway. The
Yeah.
only additional piece is a bit of software, the switch, and a little bit of coaching and mentoring from me, and you'll be able to make an elephant appear in the room before you know it.
I love that, but let me tell you, I love when you just pop those up in class. I was just like, "Oh my god, look at him, the webinar wizard doing its thing," And but it's that what was attention grabbing, and that it really kept my focus in class and going into your message that you were saying. So it really does work to keep the audience engaged and to keep them in there and saying, "Okay, well, let me listen to what he has to say." But I love that. I love that, and I know we have so many questions. Oh my god! So we'll try to get to everything, guys.
Sure.
But one thing that I really love that you just said, going back to what we were just talking about, is borrow to improve. Like that stuck with me, Johnny. And it doesn't matter which, if you have an elaborate setup already as it is, or if you must borrow something in order to up your game a little bit until you get to that next point, borrow to improve. I really like that. So I just wanted to make sure that, I mentioned that really quick. But Jody has a question for Johnny. What is the best video background for online presence in a professional context?
Yeah, so there are typically three options. So the way you guys turn up, beautiful, right? Eye contact down the lens, natural background, no green screen, nice straight lines, guitar, books, things that show off your personality. For sure. Absolutely, that's a great place to start and to continue. The other option then is a plain wall, and just shine a light on it to get rid of the shadow, and actually give more definition and depth of field to you being on screen. And the third one then that allows you to, transition into be part of your presentation is using a green screen. So there are the three options. Again, depending on budget, depending on personal choice. For me, I like the flexibility of the green screen because I can transition into my slides. And when I get bored with my background, which wouldn't take too long, I can actually be in this office. Okay. And I'm not trying to pretend that this is my fancy boardroom in Ireland or anything like that. I'm just using a background that matches with who I am and what I do. Okay. So I work B2B, I speak, I train, I coach, and the background represents that. So there are the options. The more complicated the background, if you've got stuff moving and everything else, the more likely that's going to look pixelated particularly in a Zoom meeting. So I wouldn't go overboard with a very complicated background. I've just gone for white. I'm a simple guy, and I've just gone for white. It makes the black stand out, and that's what I do. So they're the three options I suggest, and it's down to personal choice after that. Just clean and clear is the key.
It's funny that you should mention that. So Johnny, what I say to everyone is this: if you are in a corporate environment and your role is of authority and you want to establish credibility, I get it. Some people want to do a little bit more of the neutral background, right? Like, having my guitar here, having a koala bear randomly sitting up there and like a bunch of books and all that. I can understand where some folks would be like, oh my God, it's so much clutter. That's too much going on. Right. And that's fair. And that's fine. It's like decorating, people's. I will caution one thing that it irks me to no end, and you're probably far more tactful about than I am. But for those that like have this type of background, and then you try to do the like remove my background mode, like on Zoom and whatnot, you get these weird ghosting shadow thing, and it's like distracting. Okay. So if you want to be perceived professionally, and even though this might be not the most professional backdrop here, it's still less distracting than this weird ghost shadow thing hanging behind you because you're using your webcam that's integrated with your laptop. And because Zoom says I can, put this beach background in the background. Understand, we can still see the laundry basket sitting behind you in a weird fuzzy way and whatnot. So, yeah, green screen, absolutely. My other thing with green screen, I do caution people on, if you're gonna do a green screen, then you will invest in a lighting, please. Because again, green screen is there to help remove and make you stand out and have different backgrounds. But if your lighting is shite, and I'm saying shite nicely, you're gonna cast shadows. And then you're gonna get that same weird ghost image that's going on and defeating the purpose of your green screen. So here, I see what you're doing. So do it. Take it away, my friend. Show it. Show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically the key, as you're absolutely right, is even light on the green screen, okay, and just be far enough away from it that you're not casting shadow. So in terms of the lighting, I've got two in front of me to so that you can see me. I've got a key light over my head, or it's often called a hair light. Unfortunately, it doesn't make me look like I have more hair, but anyway, it's sometimes called a hair light. So what that does is it separates you from the background. But in terms of distance, I can just about reach the camera and I can just about reach the green screen. So if standing is an option, then how much space do I have? Stand up and do your Wonder Woman effect and just spin around. And that's the sort of space you need. Be far enough away from the green screen to avoid shadow, and be about arm's length from the camera. Two lights on you, two lights on the green screen to be able to control how even the light is on the green screen. And one key light can make a difference to separate you from the background. And then this is essentially what happens. It doesn't improve this. I've got a face that only a mother could love, but
Oh, stop
at
it.
least you can see me.
Oh my God. Well, let me tell you, I've been learning as I started this journey to live streaming. I've been learning so much about all these different techniques, and I'm still learning, y'all. Like I'm still in infancy when it comes to that. But knowing that there are so much, like so many opportunities to actually grow and improve, it's what's kept me going. Really quick, I didn't want to digress. Shout out to my daughter. She's in the comments again. I love you, baby. Thank you so much for watching. And she's also a very, very, she's asking me like, Mom, I want to start streaming. Like, I want to start doing my own things. And I'm just like, girl, you're 10, but is there an age to actually start incorporating these things? Like, is there, what I'm saying is, I know we're talking about kids when they go to school, we're talking about, college students, but is there an age for individuals to actually start exploring these types of options? Johnny.
I wouldn't say so, no. I mean, kids are more techie than we ever were, or probably even more techie than we are now. So, yeah, I would encourage them to embrace it, and the technology is only getting better. I mean, typically they would be the starting point is their phone, and typically, if you take TikTok for example, the younger generation is typically doing something very fly in the wall, underproduced. Then you've got really professional videos on TikTok as well. So start where you are and improve, develop your own style. If it's fly in the wall, then that's your style. Then stick with that. If it's corporate, like we mentioned, then stick with that style. Develop like branding that we talked about in the branding workshop. Be true to your brand. That's why I wear this shirt now every day, and it saves a fortune on ironing and laundry as well. So I've got a closet now like Zuckerberg. It's just a line of black shirts, but
I'm right there with
they're
you,
all
baby.
all fully charged. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. T-shirt. Yeah. Well, and I'll put it back out to you. I was wondering, should I go from the collar to the T-shirt because of the B2B work that I've done? I'm like, well, it's up to me. I mean, yeah, it's one thing to look professional, but this is I'm being true to the brand. This is who I am. I'm a little bit fun, but I get the job done, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not kind of that stiff corporate collared shirt. I've done that for long enough. So if people don't like the T-shirt, then I'd rather be true to my brand. And yeah. Anyway,
I like
I
that.
digress.
I like that. I'm a little fun, but I get the job done.
There you go.
I,
There you go.
Yeah, and but at the end of the day, that is what it is for me. Like, in my opinion, if you cannot be your true self and actually, embody the business and what you're putting out there, then what's even the point? If some individuals may not like that, then that means that they're not the right client for you
Ding, ding,
in the
ding.
get
Ding,
go.
ding,
You know
ding.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the attract and repel that I always talk about,
Yeah. Don't be
right?
afraid to polarize.
All right. So we do have
Cool.
questions, guys. There's a lot of questions lining up, so I apologize. And as usual, I'm 20 minutes behind.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Michelle again with a fantastic question. Does length of video and webinar matter for keeping them engaged to the end? Ooh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
so we could probably split the two. So for promo video, like 60 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and of that, the first 3 to 4 seconds has to have the hook. And TikTok has had a lot to do with that. So if it's a promo video, if it's a webinar, ideally you're looking at somewhere between 60 and 90 minutes. Okay. There are people who do 30. And again, it's slightly subjective. But really, in order to deliver a reasonable amount of value and build a reasonable amount of trust, you are looking at least 60 to 90 minutes, of which about in a webinar, about 15 minutes is when 50 minutes to go, or about 20% of your webinar is talking about the offer, but you're talking about the offer, i.e., the course that you're selling or the program or the coaching. You're talking about it in an educational way as opposed to doing, a pitch fest. So that's what I would be saying about webinars. And I often say, like, if you're at a comedy show and the comedian is really making you laugh, you're not going to say, "Hey, can you stop? This is," So if you're entertaining, engaging, and educating, then people will stay on. And the longer they stay on, the more likely they're to buy because they're interested. Okay. People have
Mhm.
other things to be doing. So they're not staying on because they've nothing else to do. They're staying on because you're adding value. So the longer you can keep their attention and add value without giving the farm away, then you're going to need about 60 to 90 minutes to do that.
I'd like to add to that a little bit because I think there's a misnomer. Full disclosure, my background's technology, so I have a bias towards the wonderful content that technology often offers up,
Mhm.
and understand what your webinar purpose is, right? Because there is that instructional techie tech where they're just going to go down in the weeds and, out nerd the nerdy talk, right? But this is again, for the purpose of that webinar, that's what it's designed for. But if you're doing something like an instructional webinar, something that where you are offering the opportunity for clients to, learn more about the company or about your product and services. Yeah, it's a salesy intention, but it doesn't have
Mm.
to be salesy. And so, Johnny, with what you're saying, not only do you have the need for decent lighting, sound, etc., just for a visual and aesthetics purpose to be pleasant, but think about your content, the story behind it. Don't just tell us, "Oh, I've got a white paper you wanna download, and we're amazeballs, and, oh, we're on the Gartner blah, 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 and Forbes wrote about us." No one gives a crap about that. What they wanna give a crap about is why they should care. What's of value to the person listening? What am I gonna learn and get out of it, right? And so, I mean, can you, Johnny, add a little bit more to that color as far as, having great visuals is great, but if it's a Donkey Kong of content, isn't it gonna be distracting?
Yeah, for sure. So I would never say to my clients or students that what I teach is going to make bad content better. Okay. Because at the end of the day, all it's going to do is present bad content more professionally. But if the content is still bad, looking good and sounding good with bad content, it's still bad content.
It's
Okay.
Instagram.
So,
Ooh,
so
booyah.
you, So yeah, you absolutely need to add value. Time is the most precious thing we have. So you got to respect your audience. They're turning up for 30, 60, 90 minutes of a webinar. And when I talk about webinars, I mean typically the webinars where we invite people to show up, we teach them a little bit, we get to know them, they get to know us, and we present an offer. Okay, presenting your software as a company to a potential client, to me, it's a meeting. It just happens to be happening online. So yeah, I mean, definitely be adding value. Do not, people sometimes after my coaching, you see them doing too much with the technology. There's elephants and all sorts of things appearing, and you're like, hold on a second now. Just because you can do it doesn't mean it's right. Okay, you need to you need to focus on the message, make sure you're adding value, and all you're doing with the technology is just making it a little bit more interactive and engaging with minimum effort. So that's what I'm talking about. And like, if you want to switch over to a whiteboard and start explaining, and then you want to appear on the whiteboard and say, is this making sense? And they'll go, yeah, keep going. I'm like, great, I'll keep going. So it's essentially pattern interrupt, okay, which is a proven psychology technique. And you'll remember, for those of you who have kids, or when you are a kid and you cut your knee, and mommy and daddy would say, hey, look at the pretty dog out the window, and suddenly you stop crying. Basic pattern interrupt, okay? Suddenly, or I'll get you an ice cream, or whatever it might be, right? So all we're doing is pattern interrupt, because people are tuning out with death by PowerPoint and Zoom fatigue. So if we go from being here to here for a couple of sentences and back again, their brain goes, hold on a second, something different just happened in front of me here, and they re-engage.
Love it.
Yeah, no, I completely adore. Like, I'm over here enthralled. Like, okay, yeah, look what he's doing. Like, it's very engaging, and I'm a visual person, so for those visual learners, I know those things really really work. So one of the things that I wanted to ask is what industries can benefit from having these fantastic webinar presentations, or it's just like plain level field. Like, what would you say, Johnny?
Yeah, I would say that anybody that is turning up on camera, on screen to develop and grow their business. So I work with a lot of people who rely on webinars to make money. I work with a lot of people who are moving more towards online courses and stopping exchanging time for money. So the expert industry typically who I work with, and they're typically people who are drawn to what I do. However, as I move more into corporate, people who are doing sales meetings, sales presentations, or even software demonstrations online, they now have realized that it's not good enough to turn up sitting at the end of the bed with the bathrobe hanging on the door, and I'm here trying to sell $50,000 worth of software, because perception is reality. And if people don't like what they see, rightly or wrongly, they presume that your service is crap. If you don't look good, they presume your company's no good. And there's no real connection. But as far as they're concerned, if they couldn't even sit up straight and look down the lens, what's the service or the software going to be like? So it does apply to anybody, company or individual, entrepreneur or expert, who really need to do themselves justice when they turn up on screen.
I love that. I love that. And by God, I know all of us really want to do justice to our presence and what we have to offer to the world. So, as you guys see it right there is Johnny's website directly that, you offer a free copy of your course, right? There's what exactly it is that you have in there?
Yeah, so
Mhm.
there's a free guide called Presentation Transformation. So you can download the PDF and read it. But there's also an interactive version. What that means is you can read it within like a course environment. So you read a section, you can ask a question live, you can post it, and then I will reply within a reasonable amount of time. I will reply personally. So it's like reading a book and having access to the author, because it is a little bit technical, not overly so. So I like to be able to answer, and it gives me questions that I need to address and probably will help me improve the guide. So it's not just your standard PDF. You can actually interact with it by asking questions. And that's available for free. It's called Presentation Transformation. And yeah, it's there on the old website. You'll see my ugly mug down in the corner. And you can see examples there as well of different ways. You see, you don't want to turn up, like I say to people, is this how you feel when you think about going online or on Zoom or doing a webinar? So, and that's just another example of how you can effortlessly bring in some B-roll during your webinars or meetings or presentations without having to embed a video in PowerPoint that looks crap, sounds crap, or, so you can preload your switch with some B-roll as well and have some fun. So, yeah.
Love that. Love that. And you know what? One thing that I was thinking about, right? With the giant leaps that technology is making, the huge strides that it's making in advancements, where do you see the future of webinar presentations? Like, what trends do you see emerging, and the need for these as we move along?
Yeah, so the metaverse is definitely going to be one, and people showing up as an avatar of themselves is another, which is really going to have an impact on my business. Or that's what we believe right now, thinking into the future. However, and I might be a little bit biased on this, I think, if we all turn up as avatars, and yeah, we can live out our alter ego as the avatar that we choose and so on. But I think after a while, we're going to lose the personal connection and we'll want it back. So it's kind of like, yeah, Zoom's great and all that, but isn't it nice to still meet people every now and again? So I think there's definitely going to be something happening there. Um, for me, I've got an AI camera that'll follow me around the room. So the next iteration of what I'm going to be doing is you're going to see more of me, um, like almost like a TED talk. So again, for a virtual summit, but I'll be able to walk around. The camera will follow me nice and slowly. It's only $350 camera, but it's really cool for that price that it'll follow you around. I've got a switch, a pedal on the floor so that I can transition into this without having to be near my desk. So I've got a few plans up my sleeve. So when this becomes the norm, I'll have something else. But down the road, yeah, it'll probably be us talking in the form of an avatar. Perhaps, who knows? But that would be one thing that I would foresee. And that's going to have an impact on my business. But at that point, I'll be retired.
I think when people talk about like AI in general, right? I think there's this like assumption that AI is an end all be all. Guys, it's just a tool, all right? And by the way, a lot of this quote AI hype has already existed, and it's just jumping on to a lot of marketing bandwagon. So I do caution people when they're like, "Oh my god, am I going to be able to like film my own like, Hollywood movie with the tools?" I mean, you could, but it's going to take a hell of a lot of effort on your part. So, um I think there is a lot of exciting tools available to you if you want to step up your game, especially for those that are doing online courses and the webinars, and want to increase your presence from a higher production value level. Absolutely consider it. I feel like in some ways I'm kind of bashing for those that like, hey man, all I got is my webcam and my laptop microphone. I'm not saying it's your life is over and you're not worthy or anything like that, right? All we're suggesting is this is just be cognizant of the fact that, if you are trying to sell something or if you are trying to project something, unfortunately, in this post-pandemic age, uh, our mind is already moving towards better quality audio, better quality video. That's it. It's just a shift. Prior to the pandemic, I assure you, 99% of the population would have been like, yeah, Zoom quality is great, right? So, just be cognizant of the fact. And just a side note, guys, you could have the best equipment in the world, thousands of dollars, have your own dedicated studio. But if you have 1,000 tabs open on your browser and your laptop or machine does not have the ability to support all that, CPU power, and
Mm.
or your bandwidth is like you're in, I don't know, like Mike out in the shed somewhere in Kentucky somewhere where or the bandwidth is like -0. Yeah, you are subject to some things that you may and may not be able to control. So there are other things to consider. Yeah, you can have a Lamborghini, but if you give it no gas, you're not going to go very far. So I don't know if you
Yeah.
want to mention that, but there was a question here that Claudia is asking, Johnny, can a B-roll be done in Zoom? Side note, I hate Zoom, but okay, go ahead, answer, sir.
Yeah, so it's a great question. So what I'm doing right now can be done anywhere you turn on a camera. Okay, Zoom, dare I say it, Microsoft Teams, is that what you call it? I get the shivers even when I say it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
StreamYard's great. Restream, we're on right now, is great. Link, wherever you turn on the camera, all you're basically doing is getting a piece of software that's like $20 a month for Mac Ecamm, vMix for Windows, which I'm on right now, so I use both. And you basically tell whatever meeting platform you're using that the software is the camera. Okay. So, and you tell the software, hey, this is my physical camera, please use this. And then Zoom, please use this software. So again, I guess to use the whiteboard, as we mentioned earlier, you basically thus far would have, if I move this out of the way, so you're typically at the moment have a camera going to Zoom or whatever else. All you're going to do is get your camera, with you on camera there, I'm no Picasso, and you're going to have some software like OBS for free
Hmm.
or Ecamm or vMix, and then you tell that to talk to Zoom. So it's just that little piece in the middle that can be free with OBS, which is a great place to start, to vMix for Windows or Ecamm for Mac, to take it to the next level, and you're good to go on any platform where you turn on the camera.
Excellent. Yeah, no, I mean, gosh, we like hell. I know I could keep talking about this because this is something that interests me and obviously relevant to my interest for our clients, right? Um, so
Absolutely.
Johnny, let me ask you this one last question, at least for me, and how should I put this? What percentage would you say um people will do business with you because you do look good? I know we've been talking about it and we're saying it, but let's put like numbers to like, to our anecdotes, if you will. Like, have you in your experiences seen like an increase for your clients once they go before and after? Like, what's that percentage growth that you've seen?
Yeah. So there's definitely a percentage that don't care if it improves sales. They just want to look better. Maybe a little bit of ego. It may be a little bit of sticking out from the competition. It may be a little bit of how they're turning up doesn't match with the brand that they built over the last 30 years on stage. And they just want to, as I often say, do themselves justice, turn up in a way that matches with their brand and the positioning and the mark that they have. And if it increases sales, that's just a cherry on the top. Okay, so that's one group, and I'm grateful for those people. The other group is like, Johnny, my engagement is going down. My attendance is going down. And that's across the board, by the way.
Yeah.
Webinar attendance is going down. So my attendance is going down. I need to do something to keep those who attend, keep their attention. Okay? So attendees' attention. They come to me and go, right, if I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% more people to stay and see my offer, then it's a numbers game. Of course, I'm going to have more sales. And with what I charge and what they spend on equipment, one webinar and they're they're sorted. Okay, they've paid my fee and they've paid for the gear, and then every other webinar is 100% profit after their investment.
Yeah.
So they're the two groups, and there are also a group of people who go, look, I'm making courses and they look crap. I'm making courses and it takes way too long. You're doing editing while you're producing. And I'm like, absolutely. I can transition into the whiteboard while recording, continue to present, and go back and do the outro of the course lesson. No editing. Okay. One of the
That's
biggest
fantastic.
costs in making courses is either editing yourself with Camtasia or whatever, which I still do, or you sub it out to somebody and you still have to tell them exactly where to cut it all up. So there's a percentage of people who come to me who get that benefit because they want that benefit, because they're course creators and they know they can do it faster. But definitely the clients who come to me and say, help me improve engagement, I will make more money. And they have seen from 5 to 25% of an increase because more people are staying on longer.
I
Oh my
love
gosh.
that. You're just rocking that. So anyway, I've got us hidden behind the I know we're just gonna make you stand there and dance, Johnny. Dance,
Yes,
dance for me,
Dan,
dance,
man.
yeah.
dance,
Um,
dance.
Where's my river
there
dancing?
we go. Okay, there you go. While he's dancing, QR code, everyone. QR code. Scan
Yes,
it with your phones. Because you know what? I'm telling you, with what Johnny is talking about is so absolutely relevant to everyone's interests. And
yes.
by all means, I fully endorse, advocate more than you fracking know, my friend. Because it does help. It does help with your personal branding. It helps with your professional branding. So let's get
Yep.
everyone like scan more because we're getting to the top of the hour. I know Raquel gets pissy with me every time I go long. So
We know,
parting
we know.
thoughts, my friend, as far as any last moments of wisdom you'd like to share with those that you know are
Golden
rocking it or not
nuggets.
rocking it. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, yeah, I guess the feedback I get as well is how enjoyable it becomes. So
Yeah.
too many people are like, I got to do a webinar. My sales are down. I need money. I got to do another webinar. But God, do I hate the way I look on webinars. Okay. So, that can definitely, this definitely helps. And then you go from a fear of webinars to you can't wait to the next one because you've improved how you look, you've improved how you sound, and the engagement is through the roof. And it's seamless, it's effortless. You've invested a little bit in yourself, your training. So I would, and this is not because it's what I do, okay? If I sold these bottles and I knew that I could make more money selling more bottles by doing better webinars, I'd be evangelizing this too. So I'm just saying, please get out of your own way. Do not let the tech stop you. You don't have to invest a lot in equipment, but by God, it makes such a difference to how you show up and how enjoyable and how you look forward to showing up, not just in webinars, but like meetings and live streams like this, podcasts, video podcasts, making promo videos, all that good stuff. So what you learn from being, what you'll be able to do from being able to do this is you will be able to make better promo videos, courses, live streams, podcasts, you name it. So I would encourage you, not because, you don't have to do it with me. There are other people as well. I mean, I'd love if it was with me, but please do it. Okay. Do yourself justice every time you turn on the camera, and avoid death by PowerPoint. And I sometimes go for the app here that controls the lights. I mean, that's why you don't want to be turning up like this with fingers disappearing and all. It doesn't take a whole lot, a couple of lights, and we've gone through that. So I would just encourage you to embrace it, and I'm here to help. The free guides there. You can book a complimentary consultation call. I don't pitch, okay? It's not that it sells itself, but when people see what I do, they either know they want it or they don't.
Yeah.
So it's a visual. I have that advantage, and I'm grateful for it, that it's quite visual in what I do. So it kind of explains itself as I demonstrate it. So I hope that helps.
No, that was awesome. And guys, keep scanning that QR code. I love it. Love it. So Raki, I know, I know you're anal about time. So I'm going to be that producer.
I know. And, but I did want to say one thing though. I love the accent, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there. And I know there were a couple of people in the audience too, that they were like, I love the accent. So thank you so much for just really, really imparting us with so much wisdom when it comes to the webinar world. That's why you are the webinar wizard. You are fantastic in what you're doing. You're phenomenal. So people already know how to get a hold of you, but if they don't, please make sure you connect with everyone here in the panel, just because we will get you to Johnny. Johnny is part of the Counts community, and like I said, he's amazing at what he does, and he wants you to look the best as you can in front of the camera and for your business in order to create more business for you. So Johnny, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. We love having you in the community, and we're looking to grow together because all ships do rise with the tide, don't they, Sia?
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much, Johnny. Everyone, let's give him a round of applause. Johnny!
All right, guys. Well, absolutely. So this is, for me, this is it. I just wanted to let you guys know that, next week, don't forget to tune in to, as always, our show every Saturday. We have more amazing guests your way, so you can learn together, connect with one another, because at the end of the day, you are one connection away from being the better version of yourself, and for actually helping another individual actually make it out into the world as well. Be visible and presentable. Thank you guys so much. Miss Sia, if when you may, you want to roll the outro. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey. Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.